Daily Detroit is brought to you by the community. Support our work at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Hello and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It is a warm Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I am Jer Stays coming to you from our studio at Techtown, and across the table from me for 2 days in a row. How do we get this lucky? Norris Howard, the Prince of Brightmoor, has returned. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. How are y'all out there in this this gorgeous day in Detroit? That's, as we continue through Norris History Month, I think we're going to be doing all right. It's a beautiful week out there.
What is a key event in Norris History Month, in Norris's life, that we should celebrate?
Well, obviously, the festival weekend, the feast weekend is this weekend. My birthday is this weekend. And then following through, obviously, Mother's Day is a part of that celebration, because if I wasn't born, my mother wouldn't be able to celebrate Mother's Day. So that's how it works, you see. But you continue on, and all through the month, you just spread the good joy and the good word and keep a positive attitude. That's what Norris History Month's all about.
I don't know if it's appropriate because it's on the east side, but I intend this weekend on going to the Indian Village garage sale.
That sounds fantastic.
It's both days of the weekend. There's a lot of stuff to look out for. There's a lot of cool stuff in Indian Village. And I'm like, this is what I got to do. This is Detroiting. This is the right way to do it. You hit up the garage sales. You check out different stuff, because there's so many variety of garage sales in Detroit. You got Indian Village, you got Boston Edison, and then sometimes you just got the corner.
You just got the corner. Sometimes you just roll down the block and be like, oh, they selling some stuff. There you go.
This happened once. I was outside the congregation, and I bought a shelving unit. I don't know who this guy was.
Doesn't matter.
It just happened. I got $20 and a sealed dog bed bundled in the deal.
That's fantastic. Don't you love it? We love the aftermarket.
I also love all the I don't know if I ever buy them because it's not really my style.
Yeah.
But I very much appreciate the large cloth works of art that hang like banners that you can see for miles down the big roads like Livernois.
Yeah. Like a giant Afghan or something like that. I dig it.
I want to start with some positivity, some good energy.
Yeah.
About a friend of the show.
Yeah, definitely. Mickey
Lyons has been nominated for the James Beard Foundation's Journalism Award in Beverage Writing for a piece that listeners might be familiar with, because we talked about it on this very show about third shift bars. I'll be honest, I think she deserves to. I'm not on the choosing committee, but I think she deserves to win. I'm a huge fan of Mickey.
Sign the team. Let her win it. Because listen, man, we love Mickey. We love her writing. Obviously, friend of the show, contributor to Daily Detroit as well. But also somebody who's just kept the torch on for a genre of writing that has seen decline all across the country. You're not seeing a lot of the local and regional eaters of the world still rocking and rolling, and Mickey is carrying the torch for bar and restaurant writing here in Detroit. So we love her to death and hope she gets that W and brings us back an award.
Right, I want a James Beard Award win for her. And the thing about her writing that I really enjoy is that there's always feeling behind it. Like, you actually feel something. When I read that piece about third shift, and that's one of the reasons why we had to talk to her about it on the show. Go back in the archives and find it. You felt something. You were there with these people who are working these jobs that so often people don't think about, but I think are so important to, like, the history of Southeast Michigan, right? Working the hospital, the police, the fire, sometimes, auto suppliers, things like that. I had so many family that worked in the plants, working all kinds of shifts.
Absolutely. So hearing about that and just reading any of her work truly, I think is a true joy. If you're interested in learning more about the bar culture and history of the city of Detroit, you definitely got to check out all of her work. And we wish her all the luck in the world. So let's bring back that trophy.
There is new coffee coming to Detroit's Woodbridge neighborhood. Now, I don't have a ton of details, but I did spy that James Oliver's fourth location will be at West Forest and Trumbull. They renovated that building. Remember that used to be like a glass repair shop or something, and it looked real, almost like a liquor store pasted onto.
Well, I think it was a liquor store for a hot second. It was like the glass place in a liquor store for a minute, and now it's gonna be a pretty cool cafe.
Looks like they rehabbed the building. The beautiful front glass on it. I love these weird amalgamation of buildings where it's like it used to be one thing and then they just stuck a retail space on it. I know that in the modern era, that isn't so legal to do anymore. I think it's a shame that it's illegal to do, but the ones that exist continue on. And I'm so glad that this space is getting some new life. I don't have details as far as when it opens, but it's been my experience that the folks over at James Oliver, when they start going on the project, they get it done. They've got their flagship in Corktown, a coffee stand, if you will. It's a location. It's small, but it's in the Guardian building.
Yep.
And then they're also opening up in downtown Wyandotte. So makes me ask the question, this is probably not going to be the largest space. Maybe the size of this studio is about 400 square feet or something like that. Maybe I looked in the window, maybe 500 square feet. Yeah, something like that. Not huge. You have barista experience.
Sure do.
What makes for a great coffee shop in your mind?
Man, I think obviously the first thing you got to have is good coffee. Number one. You got to have good coffee.
Define.
So what I mean by that is you got to give people options, whether that be just your straight black brews, which, by the way, we have some great roasters here in Michigan, so good coffee should not be hard for you to find. However, you got to have good offerings. I think one of the most disappointing things about the old Great Lakes coffee over on Woodward and Alexandrian was that it had everything, but it was almost a little too big for its own good. Now Red Hook is in there, and they're trying to keep it going, and I go there all the time, so I hope it continues. But I think that's the second thing, is you got to have the perfect size. If your cafe is too big, you, in a weird way, make it feel not exclusive, and in a weird way, make it so you don't have to physically go, or you're okay with just grabbing and going. If you go to a certain spot, kind of like a souterrain, if you go in, you find somewhere to sit, you're not moving, and you order more than one thing, and you're gonna be there for a while. So I actually think having it be not that big is a benefit, and I think the last thing you need staff that know coffee and love coffee, because people are going to ask you the most intense questions ever. And have a good playlist, flat out.
What's the most intense question you've gotten?
What farm were the beans sourced from?
Did you know it?
At that point, yes.
Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. I will add to your point. So I really enjoy places like Milwaukee Cafe in Milwaukee Junction. I love how it's simple and it's a window and you're in and out. I feel like you pick a lane. You're either going to be grab and go, maybe with a couple of stand-up spots, maybe a little outdoor seating, but you're in and out. This is the purpose. We're going to park, we're going to get in, or we're going to do the drive-through and we're going to get out.
Yeah, like that new place in Brush Park, where it's kind of like in the alley. What is the name of that
Anna's,
place?
I just went
Anna's,
there.
Yes.
Really good, by the way.
Fantastic coffee.
Fantastic.
But it is definitely like a grab and go. You got to look for it.
You got to look for it. So it's actually in the alleyway.
Yep.
It got me for a second. You got to look for the little sign. It's in the alleyway across from the Scott, the more higher end apartment.
Yeah, across from For the Love of Sugar, across the street from that bakery. Yeah.
Yeah. So you go with that either in and out kind of move, or, all right, I'm going to admit what my favorite sit-down coffee shop is, and longtime listeners will know, but it's a bit not cool to some. I love Java Hut in Ferndale.
There's nothing wrong with loving Java Hut.
And I know that this isn't the way things are done anymore. I remember Espresso Royale in Ann Arbor.
Who doesn't love an old kitschy cafe
with chairs you can actually sit in and feel comfortable in?
Yes, they may have 5 or 6 actual 80, 90-year-old leather couches or something in there. No, Java Hut's dope, dude.
So for me, as a not small person, no matter how hard I try, I will not be a small person. It is difficult for me to appreciate aggressive seating. A lot of seating in restaurants nowadays isn't just like, oh, turn the tables, but outright aggressive. Now, I understand if it's a stool or something and I'm just supposed to lean on it, but so much of this stuff feels like I am sitting on a can of beans.
I feel you. I'm a little dude, so I don't have this issue. But yeah, I can empathize.
Well, I want to hear what you think makes a great coffee shop. And, is there anything more that we need, whether it's in Detroit or in your neck of the woods? What do you look for? dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. Let's talk about a couple of education-related developments that I'm really glad to be talking about. One, in your beloved West Side, sir.
Yeah, so the old Cooley High over there on Hubble is going to be rehabbed into what is being referred to as a world-class sports facility. Complex, if you will. This is going to include like rehabs to all the fields. It's going to be a rehab of the interior facilities, and it's going to be used by the community and basically rehabbing something that has kind of just been sitting there as an eyesore for a number of years.
Yeah, this $25 million project will be paid for in part by the district and part by the Detroit Public Schools Community Foundation. And if you wonder if your foundation seems new to you, I have found that the foundation model can be a really good tool when you're speaking about supporting educational assets. I've seen it in other municipalities bring a lot to the table, because here in Michigan, you can't, outside funder cannot directly be like, hey, I want to pay for 10 new teachers. That's not legal. What you have to do is kind of support facilities, and then that frees up money for other things. I also think this is interesting, specifically with Cooley, because of the age of the building, the significance of the neighborhood, and the fact that there was a lot of drama around this thing to maybe sell it just a couple of years ago. And the district said no to that deal. I believe it was with Life Remodel. And no shame or shade on anybody, but this sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, no, I think this is a really amazing thing, because one of the most important things, as I look at somebody who's every school building I have ever been in is closed now.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's very it's depressing. But I think this is really, I think it's really dope. I think that community is really going to benefit from having that remodel. And even though it's not going to be a full blown schoolhouse, just to have that building have usage is a positive thing. I think back of what Life Remodel was able to do with the old Durfee School. And even though they didn't get this contract, using some of these older schoolhouses and school buildings for sports or for business incubators or really for like co-working space, I think is fantastic. And it allows us to keep some really beautiful architecture up as well in some of these neighborhoods.
I'd like to see a couple more residential conversions in the city. There was one in, I believe, Berkeley. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, there's one actually not far from here over in Lafayette Park. That's a school to residential conversion that's right over there by the park itself.
Another one is in the cultural district too. The art center.
Yes, yeah, absolutely correct. So some of these schoolhouses I think can be converted to residential. I think others can be converted to exactly what this is used for. Because to be perfectly honest, because these schools closed, a lot of the sort of sports facilities that normally would be open to the public were boarded up, chained up, and you couldn't use them anymore. So now having that is going to be a big benefit to the entire community.
Look, sports facilities are a big deal, whether it's in neighborhoods with this or all the chatter I've seen online about the new pickleball courts that have gone in at Beacon Park. Some people are real mad about it. Or I want to hear what you think, because some people are real upset about them pickleball courts. And then other people I see going, you know what? Detroiters play pickleball too.
I mean, listen, I'm definitely, I can see both sides on this one, because I think pickleball is the lamest in the world. I think.
Oh man,
I think
you're just gonna
pickleball-
get people mad at you.
I
I
think-
want to try it. I'm gonna try it.
Listen, first of all, I'm a fan of all sports. I think all sports are valid. Good exercise is good exercise. I just think, bro, you just don't want to play tennis. You just don't got the motor for tennis.
No, I don't.
Like that's
don't.
what it is. I don't have a motor for tennis, so I can't play tennis. So I'm gonna just play pickleball, which is baby tennis. Like it just sits wrong with me, man. As somebody who plays like a full contact sport.
Okay, listen. The minute you click past that magic 4-0, your thoughts will start to change.
Maybe not. I don't know. I play soccer with cats who are 50 and 60 sometimes and got good tickers. So for me, I'm like, look, if you want to play pickleball and they put the courts up there, that's fine. But also, stop wearing them goofy outfits too, like with the short shorts and the headbands, dog.
Okay,
You are
I'm
not.
showing up. You know what?
You are not John McEnroe. You are not Bjorn Borg, dog. You're not even playing the same sport.
I'm going to show up as Jer McEnroe right
That's
up in
not-
here with the shortest shorts you can find. And we're going to do it on video here at the studio.
I'm seeing way too many moose
And I'm
knuckles.
gonna bring my
way
paddle.
way too many at the pickleball courts. I'm
going to chase you with my paddle down Burrow Street.
Listen, man, have a blast. You can't catch me.
Another piece of educational news, the Davis Aerospace Technical High School is going back to its roots at Detroit City Airport. That's thanks to a $7 million investment from the district and also that aforementioned community foundation. The money is going to build a new building, a school building at the Coleman A. Young International Airport. Well, that's its proper name. I'm so used to calling it City over the years. I know it's proper. It's nothing about Coleman Young. It's just I grew up calling it
City Airport.
City Airport,
Listen,
right?
his mama named him City Airport, so I'm gonna call him City Airport. Like, and a part of me wishes, we were in a situation to where City Airport could open once more as a full blown, just straight up airport, and we just be serviced by two like we did for. It was like a small window of like 15 years.
It's a full airport, but it's a full airport for everything but like commercial service.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like no commercial.
Because I think there's a ton of drone work happening out of there.
Yeah, and there's private flights.
Yeah, private
chartered.
flights, freight flights. The move is going to be good because, it is going to be able to double the capacity for the school. And let's just be 100% about this. Black and brown representation in the aerospace field is
abysmal.
real small. And these are good paying jobs. And if we can provide that sort of on-ramp, that's just an amazing thing for Detroit kids.
And it totally makes sense considering we are serviced here by one of the busiest and most important airports. And by the way, consistently voted best airport in the country, Detroit Metro. I mean, it is a major thoroughfare, a major airport, and having that aerospace talent here is going to be really important. Now, this school moved to go lightly for a little bit when they were busy trying to figure out over bankruptcy what was going to happen with City Airport. But to see that it's back and it's going to be operational for a lot of these kids, doubling the capacity, as you said. And a bigger thing also is just continuing the optics of activity at City Airport, right? Because sometimes it's just about seeing stuff is going on, man. And having more kids in that neighborhood, going to that school, and learning more about, the potential pathways in the aerospace industry, I think it's fantastic, dude. It's just what a great sign.
Norris Howard.
Yeah.
We got some feedback.
Did we make the people mad again?
I mean, I don't know if we made the people mad, but I feel like Santa Ono made the people mad.
Oh, cool. It's not us this time. Finally.
I mean, it's a little bit us.
But it's somebody else for the most part.
I got more than a dozen pieces of feedback on this one, so I'm not going to read every single one of them for time. I am going to highlight a couple of here. Both of these people say that they are alumni. Jeff said that Ono needed to go, a disgrace to the university for not standing up for research. We can't use the endowment. Harvard can't either for this work. Lots of people are going to lose their jobs and important research will go away. Secondly, this piece is from Diana. It's a longer piece, so I'm condensing a little bit. I'm going to try to get the spirit of it.
Okay.
But Diane writes, I came across your podcast that was discussing Ono leaving Michigan for Florida, and I thought I would give you an opinion that is missing from the conversation. Many, including you guys, tend to think the Democratic regions pushed Ono to sign the op-ed because they have an election coming up and wanted to pander to liberals. That is just political spin from the right trying to make the university look bad. What you are missing is that the faculty and staff have been pushing for months to have a stronger stance against the Trump administration regarding the cuts to the NSF and NIH funding. So that's going to be the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health. The cuts are draconian and will decimate scientific research in this country. The press and podcasters don't understand the issue and hardly report on it. No, the endowment can't be used to carry the cost of scientific research. There are earmarks on that funding. Many seem to conflate the issues of the DEI policies, the protesters, and the scientific funding cuts. These are all separate issues. I did not know about the disagreement about the NYT op-ed until today. I have been wondering for days why Ono would want to leave. Now, as an alumni and staff at the university, I say good riddance. We should be joining Harvard in their fight. We should be writing op-eds and fighting for science. We are the leaders and best and should act like it. Ono was a coward and left us out to dry.
Sheesh.
For months now, I've been wondering why this university that I love is staying silent. It made no sense. Now I know. So let's talk about it.
So
there's a lot of feedback. I tried to take these two and say a lot of the points were made here. Literally no one defended in our feedback. No one defended Ono. No one took the right side of the cause here.
Yeah.
Or the politically right side of the cause.
Yeah, I think the thing obviously is that, first of all, I just want to clarify that, in my speculation, I did think that, no, this is also coming because there's going to be some pressure from alumni and from the donors and where, how the endowment works. Like, obviously, I think that existed. Now, I think it's important for us to note that they are correct, that the research money that does come from the federal government is not going to be replaced from the endowment. The endowment is what you use to keep the lights on, basically.
Well, actually, not even that. A lot of times the endowment is, used as a portion of the endowment is used to take care of certain things or invest in certain projects. If you take money out of the endowment, you make less money over time in the market, right? It's a chunk of money. A lot of people think of endowments as this big thing that you can draw down from. Really, it's a chunk of money that then you make profit off of, and you take that profit and invest it in the university.
Yep, 1,000%. So I think personally what is being said and what you're hearing from alumni is the same level of frustration that I think you're hearing just from citizenry in general as it pertains to those on the left and those who are just anti the administration, is that they don't hear enough fight. They don't feel that their institutions are standing up for them, and they don't feel like the leadership has any clue about how they feel about the situations or how they want the leadership to behave. I think that is symptomatic of just about every institution in our country right now.
And I think it reflects the wider feeling about Democrats.
Yes.
In that although Trump's numbers are going down, Democrats are generally not going up. People don't like
government.
Yeah.
This is right.
I mean, there's people who are definitely like on the Democratic side, but like I see this frustration. There is a group of people that are seething right now, looking for leadership. And the reality is the priorities from now until 4 years from now are going to be this. And so like I'm torn because yes, you should definitely fight, but also you should get ready.
Yeah.
Because I feel bad because this is a situation where this is so much money that only the government can provide this funding. And if the private sector does, it's going to be for private ends and profit ends only. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. And that's part of the fundamental rewrite of the contract of government and our country that is being ushered in right now.
Yeah. And I think, people, as you said, people are angry about this, but I think they're angry because they know if this money comes from anywhere else besides the federal government, it's going to come with caveats. It's going to come with other energy on it. And nobody wants to see, particularly, I think, in the university sector, nobody wants to see these places become just wings of Pfizer or GlaxoSmithKline,
or those people lose their jobs at those universities, which are economic engines for Ann Arbor, Detroit, and other places.
For everywhere, yeah.
And then those Pfizers and whatever just end up directly hiring these folks, and everybody's making blue chews.
Exactly. So like that's the thing that worries me about it, and I think both respondents pretty much got the ethos of what most people are feeling with the Ono situation. And I think also he didn't make the situation better. Again, if he would have just rolled off into the sunset, I don't agree with you guys. I don't like what's going on. Yeah, I know y'all just gave me a raise, but I'm not feeling this. I'm going to just step down. And he just rides off into the sunset. Sure, you might have a couple people mad at him, but it's the moving to Florida part that I think really sticks in a lot of people's craw as well, because it's almost a complete capitulation. It is absolutely laying every card on the table about what you're about, who you want to rock with, and the type of future you envision for the university system across this country.
This is something that I intend on asking about up on Mackinac, but I want to see the same energy that we had for fighter planes for
the schools.
For the schools, right? We have to have the same energy of saying, okay, if we're going to make all these compromises, do all these things, supposedly to bring these like fighter jets, we also need to bring it for this, right? If people feel like they're being abandoned by their leadership and their democratic leadership, to be honest, because you see strongly worded letters, and the era of strongly worded letters is over.
It's been dead. I would argue it's been dead for a decade, but nobody wanted to say anything about it. And that's where we are in terms of democratic leadership. And listen, we got to give credit where credit is due. The right knows how to win. They know how to win, and they know how to maintain power, and they know how to pass that power on even when they leave. The left doesn't know how to do that. And I think that's something that is going to be critical moving forward, because everybody's talking about the midterms. Everybody's talking about 4 years after Trump already. I'm not sure if there's any apparatus or any person that has come to the fore that will inspire anyone to do anything. And that's the sort of damning part of all this, is that time after time after time again, people are looking for some form of opposition force to what is happening with Trump. And there just is none. There is none. And I think this flashpoint at the University of Michigan is just another example for those of us in the state.
As always, your feedback, dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. We've also got a contact form on the website. Love it when people keep it hot.
Oh, yeah. And listen, we love the comments even when you guys disagree with us, disagree with Jared, disagree with me, or provide new information. I think it's fantastic. And definitely, if you are on the ground and hear anything that we're talking about, we want to hear from you because it helps provide an even clearer picture of what's going on here in Southeast Michigan.
Well, with that, thank you so much to our members on Patreon who keep this show going. Patreon.com/DailyDetroit. Get swag, get access to our member Discord, and our forever thanks. With that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll talk tomorrow.